Okay, let's take a look at energy balance. Zoom way in. Energy balance, we're measuring energy as kilocalories. Kilocalorie is 1 kilogram of water. We raise the heat of by 1 degree C. Now, kilocalorie is the same as calorie with the big C that's located on nutrition labels. The other definition we had is calorie with a little c, lowercase c. It's equivalent to raising 1 gram of water by 1 degree C, 1 degree Celsius. So obviously we have 3 main sources of energy. We have carbs, lipids, and proteins. Our main source of energy are carbohydrates. Secondary source are lipids. And then our last resort for energy is going to be protein. Protein has so many other varied and important functions in the body that the last thing we want to do is use it for ATP generation. We looked at different types of density in foods. You can either have energy density. So energy dense foods are those that have a lot more calories per serving. So that would be things like avocados or more high fat stuff. And then we can also have nutrient density. More nutrient dense foods are those that have a lot more vitamins and minerals per serving. So those are, again, a lot of your plant items would fall into that category. When we're looking at energy balance, intake is going to be anything that we take in through the diet, so anything by mouth, diet, supplements, beverages, whatever it might be, and then whatever we can store some of that as well. And then energy output is things like our activity thermogenesis, so that's actual planned activity. We have our NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so that would be like activities of daily living, so like brushing your teeth and taking a shower and going to the bathroom and stuff like that. Then we also have our output as about 10% of all of our energies used for the thermic effective food, or TEF. Thermic effective food is the amount of energy that's required for digestion and absorption of that particular macronutrient. So it takes the most energy to break down, digest, and absorb protein. It's about almost 20 to 30% of all the energy from protein has to be used for digestion and absorption of protein, which makes sense because we have a bunch of different enzymes that have to be synthesized, a bunch of carrier proteins that have to be synthesized for amino acids, dipeptides, and tripeptides to be absorbed. And then our least amount of energy is required for digestion and absorption of our lipids. It takes a little bit of energy to break them down in digestion, but remember, lipids are absorbed by passive diffusion, so they don't require any carrier proteins, which means we absorb actually about 95 to 100% of all of the lipids. Carbs are kind of in between, they're about 90 to 95%. And then the most of our energy output is going to be based off of metabolism, so basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate will decrease as we age, just like everything else. There are several things that can actually increase our basal metabolic rate. Things like, most importantly, how much lean mass we have. That's going to be the most important determinant of how fast our basal metabolic rate is. The more lean mass we have, more muscle, the faster our basal metabolic rate is going to be. Things like fever, every 1 degree C or 1 degree Fahrenheit will increase our basal metabolism by about 7%. Also, our surface area. So tall, thin individuals, so like our height has a big determinant on this. The more surface area means higher metabolic rate. And then caffeine. Caffeine can also stimulate basal metabolic rate to some extent. Okay, that is our quick energy balance.